Hello friends, this is Season Inspired, and today we're talking about the energies of the Schumann Resonance and of the astrology of today. The astrology shows potently on the chart today, and there are some really key energies at play. They show on the Schumann, but they're explained by the astrology. Let's take a look at this. For those of you who are new, the Schumann Resonance is a non-physical energy in the air around us. From 0 to 40 hertz is the measurement. That coincides with human brain waves. It's an electromagnetic energy, and in that way, you could compare it with the science of astrology and electromagnetic effect on human beings by planetary movements and positions. So we're going to combine these today, and I'm going to show you something cool. The first thing I wanted to show you is this white on the chart here, which started on this chart for the 16th. So this here occurred when the moon moved into a 2-degree orb opposing Venus. So what was that about? I interpret it here using the level of hertz and the colors on the chart and the planet positions. So it looked like to me that it was about our subconscious and unconscious, and that the light coming into this and then into our alpha brainwaves, which are about observation of the world around us, and then how that expresses out into the larger world. That's right here with the white, red, green, and yellow going into the higher hertz or into the beta brainwaves, which are at 3 different levels all across here. And there was even connection here up here with our spiritual brainwaves, the gamma. And so I think that here, it's not just an observation now, but now our emotions are engaged because the moon opposed Venus and it continued to oppose Venus. This here is kind of the flak or the detritus off of the explosion in Tonga. It became exact here. And where the moon opposed Venus exactly, we see what I have in the past called a moon line. But this moon line looks different. It's much thicker and it has all these interesting patterns in it. But it goes from close to 0 to 40 hertz right at the time of the lunar opposition. And you see here the line at 20 hertz lighting up at the same time, and a lot of red and dark red energy here. So our emotions are engaged, and as the moon continued to oppose Venus exactly, and then it moved off of a 2-degree orb from the exact opposition. So all of this, in my view, is lighting up our emotions about this situation. So we're talking about what we value. You might notice that there's a lot of calm, but there's kind of these grumbles. An interesting event has happened in the last few hours, and that is there's a yod pointing to Varuna. What is Varuna? Varuna is the Hindu god of the sea, a god of justice, and his qualities are that he binds sinners. He's a watcher of the west, so the energy comes from the west. And notice we did have this major energy come from the west at Tonga, and it explode across the Pacific and towards every other continent, especially towards the United States, as the waves did land upon the West Coast. So what's interesting now is 1, 2, 3 days after. Okay, now we're at the 3rd day after. And what we are seeing is demonic energy attempt to engage us. Now, where is that on this chart? See how the green completely envelops the red here. So you have that aspect of binding sinners, okay, of binding that which is separate from God, which chooses to stay separate. The lit up line at 10 hertz, deep in the alpha brainwaves. So we are observing what's not in alignment here. And the natural forces assist us in moving this out of our energy field, out of our body, out of our homes, and out of our communities, out of our world, out of our solar system. Want to show you right here, here's another line. Right here at 13, you had the moon. She was in a quincunx with Venus, exactly. So we have another line here at that time. And this line is, look, it's quite thick. All right, now let's take a look at the astrology for this. This is the big thing on the chart, and it's right here, this yod right here at Varuna. And Varuna is in Leo. Here's the yod pointing at him. He is the god that binds sinners. Who is working with him? Kali here is at one arm of the yod with Jupiter. And then here you have Vesta, the goddess of the home, and Nike, the goddess of victory, at the other arm. So guess who's going to not win here? Okay, it's the demonic forces. They are not going to be able to withstand this energy. But for some strange reason, they are poking their heads up today, and it started last night. Why could that be? Well, let's take a look at Babylon here at the chart, which is a good representation of old energies, and perhaps even looking back into the eons of when these forces engaged humanity. Perhaps we can use Babylon as a placeholder. So let's look at what's opposing Babylon today, and it is Eris at 23 degrees. If you were Babylon, you would think, well, how could I use this energy to work for me? And here's how. Bitchy women. Women who are in your face, who aren't nice, who are not coming from a loving place, who are coming from a disconnection of the heart and soul. That's who Babylon has an influence over. And you also have that influence going on because of Pluto here and Venus having just passed Pluto. Venus is kind of on a dark night of the soul journey right now, okay? What happened was, and I talked about this in some of my videos with the astrology thumbnails, Venus was here and she went past Pluto. She retrograded. And it's very, very intense when Venus retrogrades past Pluto. I'm seeing it pop up in all sorts of situations for people. Okay, so this could be old lovers coming back, or old relationships that weren't good for you coming back. It could be a temptation to, or a request to engage with energy that you know is not right for you, but you're going to do it anyway because a Plutonian character in your life made the request, which most often is going to be a male who might not understand your situation. And it, even for a guy, it could be a guy that doesn't understand exactly what your situation is and is assigning you to something that you know is not good for you. But it could also be a woman who carries the energies of the forces of darkness. The controlled Pluto is an extremely intense Pluto. So here she is, she's here and she's in retrograde. Now she's not done at 13 degrees. She's going to keep going back to 11, at which point she'll stop. Now here's where Venus makes the journey back. She stations at 11 degrees and then begins to make the journey back sometime in late February, early March. And by March 17th, she's finally passes Pluto. Okay, so this intense situation is going to be going on until around March 17th and after. At March 17th, Venus will be, Pluto will be at 28 degrees and Venus will be at 10 Aquarius. So Venus will be more than 10 degrees past Pluto, way past his clutches. The other thing here is that there's a real challenge asking us, what do we really value? Pluto is ready to grind us to dust if we make the wrong decision. What do I mean by that? I mean that the path will be extremely challenging and rocky unless we are aligned with the light within us, with the God force within us, with the light of our own soul. This situation, how do you deal with it? This situation of Babylon, or the demonic force attempting to engage the feminine directly and use it for its purposes. You stay focused on the light within. In fact, you can see here, sorry, there are some very wide aspects here. So you've got Metis, the wise counselor, is in a wide aspect with Eris. So is the sun shining a light, but she's 6 degrees away from her, from her square. And Metis is also 6 degrees away from a trine with Eris. You've got Metis in a wide conjunction with Victory here and with Pallas Athena, another strong female character on the chart. You've got Venus here, who has opposed the moon, but she doesn't have a lot of support from the sun at this point. She is in a semi-sextile with Saturn. So her values are around building structure in an innovative way, most likely for her future. Okay, but that's another challenging aspect. So it's not bringing her a lot of support at this time. Here's where the support lies on the chart. You see here the sun is at 29 degrees and it is trine all of these aspects here. You've got Ceres, the hook here. That's Ceres, the mother. She has come to the aid of Sedna, the child abandoned by her weak father. So they're at the exact same degree within only 10 minutes of each other. So Sedna, the wounded child, has her mother's support. One way that you access your own support here is by connecting with the divinity within. You can connect with the Divine Mother. You can ask for that support in your life. You can connect with your own mother, or you can act in a motherly way if you get along with your mom. You see here that Sedna and Ceres are in a semi-sextile with Neptune, Pallas Athena, and Victory. Okay, normally Neptune can bring illusion, but he's got Pallas Athena right here by his side. She has the sword of discernment with her, and Victory is within 3 degrees. So this is very supportive here. And what this means is that the traumas of our past, okay, that healing, that bringing a light to them in a way that supports us rising up out of them is possible. You have the head of the dragon here, the north node, 1 degree from Sedna. So that's going to give us the energy to do that. And it's probably going to come from anger over the situation because the head of the dragon can be very fiery. But with the sun still conjunct Pluto within 3 degrees, we have the ability to see down deep into our depths. And these are the changes that are required to happen for Venus to properly come to her conclusions to build a strong and stable future. That's Saturn here in Aquarius. I want to say something else here. Kali is the goddess who slays demons, but not just the demon, but the head of the demons. This is a powerful force for good in this chart. The coziness in the chart comes from Nike and Vesta. We have Victory from the standpoint of what we are doing in our own homes. That's the other place where the energies support us right now. So if you need to make your home cozier, this is a great time to do that. And if you need to rest, staying at home, resting, loving on yourself from within your home will bring success later. Because we need the energies, right, to rest. Now, I want to show you one other thing. If you're facing illness at this moment, here's Hygeia. She is opposing abundance and Uranus. So this opposition is within 2 degrees. Uranus is within a 6 degrees orb of health or Hygeia. What does this mean related to your health? And this is an energy forecast, okay? To solve your health issues, you want to access your abundance. And that would mean taking advantage of sudden changes and sudden shifts in energy. That's Uranus. So if something sudden has happened, how can you use it to your advantage? I can give you an example of that in my life related to these energies. We had to evacuate on Saturday morning. Now I've been back at home the last few days and I'm reviewing Okay, I'm reviewing value related to my home. Specifically, if it took me 35 minutes to leave, why did it take that long? Because I was putting all my electronics up high, okay, just in case there was any flooding. So now I'm putting things away. I left it for 3 days because I just couldn't face the disaster in the house. And now today I'm attending to putting things away, but now they're put away differently. Now they're put away so that in the unlikely event of flooding, I can leave faster because the electronics will be higher up and taken care of. So that helps me with my health long term. Why? Because if I can leave fast in an emergency, that's good for me, right? Now, because we've got Kali on the other side of a yod formed with Nike and Vesta and Varuna here, it's a great day to clear your home of any energy that's not in alignment with your highest good. How do you do that? You do that intentionally. Clear your body, which is all made up of energy. Clear your energy field. Clear your home. And if you understand how to do this and are able, you can also just pray. Prayer does this. It's a way of doing energy work. You can clear your community. You can clear your state. You can clear your country through simple prayer. This is a powerful day to ask for alignment with the highest good from your home space. And ultimately, the ultimate home is the seat of the soul in the human heart, in the human body, in the human form. And this is what the divine light responds to. Whew. Stay centered and carry on. The human resonance. It's all about the vibe.